1.5 years ago, I was diagnosed with Pancolitis. It is a severe case of ulcerative colitis where your whole colon is covered in ulcers. I was shocked, considering I had a very healthy diet. And then, everything changed. Today I can tell you one thing: anything is possible. You can reverse this illness and live a healthy, happy life. Follow me for my story. Hi guys, today I'm going to take you for a trip to the farmer's market where we are going to choose the foods that I normally purchase every week, and also I'm going to take you to my kitchen later on, and we're going to talk about the foods to do and to stop doing in order to heal. Up to 80% of immune tissue is located in digestive system. Gut is the first entry point for pathogens. Bad bacteria and viruses can cause disease. That is why it is so important to keep it healthy in order to avoid any illnesses. And this is why I trusted that if I focus on the right nutrition and optimize my microbiome, I will go into remission. When I first got diagnosed, I was heavily driven by fear and not knowing what my condition really is. I was in such a deteriorating state that all I wanted was to stay alive. I felt scared, but safe at the same time, thinking drugs will be guarding me all my life. I created my second flare just after 1 month after getting out of the hospital. And then that was the moment where I had to take my health seriously and not act with fear. I have started my research. I've read a lot of books and protocols, and I've realized that there are different ways of healing the gut. But this is my way, and I believe it helped me to go into remission and feel fantastic again. First of all, I cut all the grains that you can possibly name. I quit sugar and starch. The only sugar I let into my diet was raw unpasteurized honey in a very little quantities and a lot of wild blueberries. In terms of starch, I had no parsnips, butternut squash, potatoes, no sweet potatoes, no Jerusalem artichoke. And after my blood stopped, I also incorporated garlic, onions, and the rest of the vegetables that were low in starch. I quit nightshade as well, and that includes tomatoes and peppers because they contain a high volume of lectins that doesn't do any good for people with autoimmune diseases. Nothing from the tin, packet or jar, as most of those products contain preservatives. I'm going to take you now to the fridge. I'm coming. And I'm going to show you what I normally stock up so you can see what I normally eat. 1 second. So, don't interrupt me. So I'm going to quickly show you what I normally stock in my freezer. I normally order a few bits and bobs and I keep them as an extra if I need to get something during the week and I don't have access to the organic farm. Just give me a moment. I quit pulses, that means no beans, no lentils, as they are very difficult to digest. As you already know, I was plant-based for a long time, and dairy products were very rarely on my menu. And I never thought I would say that, but I feel I have been mind-washed with propaganda and bad press for dairy products. No one really mentions that even the organic milk from the supermarket is actually harmful for your health. That is why I have introduced in my diet raw unpasteurized milk, raw homemade kefir for you guys in States, and cream, which surprisingly I fell in love with. The best is raw organic milk, which has been not pasteurized or processed in any way. Pasteurizing milk destroys useful nutrients. Supermarket dairy has been also homogenizing it to stop the milk from separating in a bottle, and this is purely visual cosmetic purpose. Homogenizing milk breaks down fat globules and changes milk structure even further, making it harmful for the body. I have realized that meats, frozen meats, fish, game, organ meats are the best source of nutrition. It is the most digestible form of foods for human beings, in opposite to very toxic grains, as they are extremely difficult to digest. I was heavily deficient in vitamins and minerals, as plant-based diet lacks 15 nutrients. Cholesterol, saturated animal fats, CoQ10, creatine, carnitine, taurine, carnosine, hemiiron, CLA lactic acid, vitamin A, B1, B2, B3, B5, B6, B12, biotin, vitamin D, vitamin F, and vitamin K2. Believe it or not, I have previously supplemented most of them with a failure. Well, it should tell you something, right? Remember, as soon as you stop your flare, try to introduce meats immediately, red meats in particular, lamb, beef, game, duck, goose, pork, chicken and turkey. It is vital to introduce organ meats as soon as possible, liver, hearts in particular. As the system starts recovering, increase amount of meat. Slowly start adding homemade sauerkraut of any fermented vegetables into every bowl of soup. It will help you to digest meat. I would like to remind you that I'm not a doctor or a dietitian, and this is purely my own experience with pancolitis journey. I take no responsibilities for anyone who follows my footsteps. My typical start of the day is plenty of filtered water with a slice of lemon or apple cider vinegar just before breakfast. I do not tend to eat straight away after waking up. I leave it a couple of hours so that my body wakes up, so it's usually around 11 o'clock. I do not have lunch and I have dinner, so twice a day I eat. And usually I have cooked eggs for breakfast, with some sausages or bacon, and a little bit of fresh salad with some celery juice or avocado. The yolks are usually very raw, and I tend to not eat a lot of egg whites. During the day I sip on my meat stock broth, and this is something that I got into a habit of doing. Evenings are usually any type of organ meats or a piece of meat with a lot of fat and some vegetables. My snack also is a smoothie made with wild blueberries and raw kefir or unpasteurized milk. I feel a little bit silly, as I feel I fell into a brainwashing machine that has molded me into a certain frames of thinking. I'm glad I have woken up to it, and I feel my life got better in every possible way. Because our mind controls so much, remember, stress is one of the factors leading to an unhappy gut. So try to lessen any stresses you may currently have in your life. It is time for a dose of self-care and nourishment so that you can preserve your most valuable resource, you. To begin, set your intention to heal and then just trust your gut.